All right, I'm going to keep going with modeling these little game pieces, tiny furniture, I think they're called. Um, this one has a computer monitor. Well, it looks like a computer monitor, a keyboard, and some pipes. Again, it's simple modeling. A couple of challenges here and there. What I've done is I've opened a window. I just dragged from the bottom, see where they get the crosshair here. And I've dragged up and I've made this a UV editor window, an image open. So my reference image right there, so I can look at that. Because I'm not going to be modeling on it. I'm just going to be looking at that. All right, so yeah, hopefully this will be interesting. All right, I'm going to bring in a cube. And let's say from the side, now it's a little bit longer, sort of rectangular. So look at it like that. So we'll scale this in the X a bit. So that's the front. Okay, yeah, that's the front. And that's the side. All right, front. Good, like that. All right, so let's see here. First of all, what I'm going to do is make it a little bit. There's the top. Not quite so deep. And before I do anything to this, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to copy it down, Shift D. And I'm going to be using this piece to make the bottom, and I want them to be the same width. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm going to come back to this and pull it in like that. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add a bevel to this. And we'll just up the number of sides, and I'll make this, actually, I think I'll leave it at that for the moment. Maybe I'll shade smooth. Actually, I don't need to shade smooth right now. Okay, now, so we've got this inset here where we're going to put the screen. So let's just do that. In face selection and edit mode, I'm going to hit I to inset and pull in, and watch the bevel. If I'm too close to the edge, I start to lose the bevel. I'm going to pull it in enough that I keep a nice curvature of bevel like that. And I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to go in. See the bevel's gone? Keep pushing until the bevel comes back. I want it to go a nice distance in there. Just like that. I'll deselect and it'll come out. Now it is a little flatter, and so I may consider, if I put one in, pull it down, I start to lose it. And because these are joined, the same thing happens here, but I'm still okay with that amount of bevel, I think. All right. So, what I'm going to do here is I think to make this screen, I think I'll take this face and I'm going to switch over to normal, and then I'll go like that. I'm going to go Shift D, duplicate it, pull it out. And I think I'll break this out. P, break it out, select it, set origin to geometry on that, and go back in, and then the gizmos will line up with it nicely. I'm going to subdivide this a few times, so right click and subdivide, subdivide. I'll do one more. It's quite a bit actually. Probably didn't need to go that much, but select that central vertex. And I'm going to turn on proportional editing, and I'm going to start pulling it. I'm just going to adjust my circle so that I sort of get a curvature like that. Something like this, and then shade smooth on that. And hopefully that's okay. I could, first of all, take off the bevel. I don't need the bevel on that, and that'll help. Let's go back into edit mode and push this in. I still have proportional editing on. And see how it fits and how it looks. All right. I mean, I could turn that back on. I could do more if I wanted to. that's okay. Let's leave it there because I'll be rounding these edges soon. Okay. Alrighty. Unless I want to try this. Unless I want to grab these and just say in global. If we just do scale, turn that off. We just scale it. I might prefer that. Yeah. In the end, I'll probably put this on. I'm gonna go with a slightly smaller bevel. Okay. All right. We're just up on top. I'm gonna select that top face there. Shift S, cursor selected, and make these things. And we'll just do a circle, and we'll go for maybe 22 vertices. Let's look down. Let's get rid of all those. That's okay, like that. Let's scale it down. And my 3D cursor is right there. I'm going to add a mirror modifier. We're going to go in the Y. Let's make sure that's off. I think I got to come in a bit smaller. Let's scale this in the Y. All right, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and apply that mirror and then go in and then take these faces, or vertices, sorry, and join them. Those ones, selected all A and F to make a face. And then I'm going to extrude out a ways. Press 2 for edge selection, and then we're going to bevel quite a bit. Real far down and roll my mouse up a lot. Like that. I'll try shading smooth. Okay, Shift H to just isolate that. Go in and delete that bottom face. That'll help. And I'll have that. And we'll just bring it down so it just makes contact. And I'm going to be doing the pipes, I think, similar distance, as similar as I can. So let's go ahead and add an array. And all this may be adjusted. Put that roughly in the center. And that, I'm going to make this 1.7. Pull this so it's pretty much in the center. And I think back a little ways on this top piece here. And it's just a shame that they don't share the bevel and sort of weld into the top. I tried a few things and it wasn't working out well. I think when this is a 3D model, as far as I can tell, 3D printed model, I think it is. And so even if these are separate pieces, maybe they're joined before 3D printing, I'm not sure. But it all comes out as a one-piece thing, and so they do blend together. And I like that effect, but it's not easy to do that here, so I'm not going to bother with that. All right, so now we're going to take this piece, go in, select the piece, and Control L, that will select all that's joined. I'm going to move that up a little ways. Okay, we're going to come in here just to do that, those pipes. And yeah, okay, let's get the shape of this thing. So it comes out, comes up, goes across. So let's see what we need to do that. So first of all, I think it's going to be too long. So we do something like that. And then I think we're going to need an edge loop down near the bottom. And what do? Do we just pull this back? Is that good enough to do it like that? I'm going to pull this back a little bit. And before I go on and do any more work on that, I am going to set up for the pipes. But first, let's move this all above. Okay. My 3D cursor is right in the middle. I can send it back to the origin there of X and Y. Let's bring in a plane and go into edit mode and M. That's merge at center. Pull that up. So that's right in the middle. We're going to come out of the bottom of this. Like pull it down so we can see it. And go to wireframe. I don't know, somewhere around there. No, all of that. All right, that kind of thing. All right, good enough. Let's look from the front, and the way we're going to do this is I'm going to hit E to extrude. I'm going to pull just down underneath that. I'll look from the side. Okay, it comes down, and then it curves, and it would like, go into the wall there. Okay, so I'm going to hit E to extrude, and I'm just going to pull it back. And eventually I'll have all these line up. For now, I don't care if it's a bit longer. So let's take this and let's push it into here. And this one I want to curve. So I can get out of wireframe. So Shift Control B, pull, and I want a good number of segments. 5 at least. That's probably okay. Back in object mode, go object. Make sure it's selected. Object, convert to curve, and in the curve dialog box, scroll down to geometry and depth and start pulling it up. We'll do shade smooth, and I'll do a control 1 right now for one subdivision. Okay, I think I want to make them wider than that, so I'm just going to keep going with my depth. Only problem is this join right here. It starts to overlap on itself. All right, if it's too thick. So I'm just going to come to there. That's going to be okay. Barely see that anyhow. So what I had said was I want these to pretty much line up with these. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put on an array, and I'm going to try to pretty much match it up. Let's try hitting 3 and see. That's pretty good. These maybe need to come down more. Like that. I'll leave that in there. Okay, I think there might be a little bit of a ring or something. I think that would look good if there was something there. So I'll bring in a circle, and I can stay with 22. I probably should have selected that to get it better, but okay. And E to extrude and come on down, just in. And same thing with this, E and S, we'll just push it in. 2, Control B, I don't need too many subdivisions, maybe a couple. We'll shade smooth, and that's probably going to be okay. But we'll try to center this up a little bit better. Okay, and I think I will just copy these and place them. Just adds a little something, and I might have that where they come into the wall. However, I'm now thinking that that is too high. And so I'm going to do here, what am I going to do? I'm going to select, let's see. Okay, these guys, they're going to come up. Let's bring them to about where I would want them, maybe to there. I'll come in and I'll take this, Control L. I'm going to lift it until it touches there. Oops. All right, let me reset my screen keys here. Screencast keys. And then these, I just got to box select that, pull it up, very easy to adjust. Close enough. Yeah, might have a bit more of a curve on mine than theirs. All right, now this probably is too tall anyhow. So this is, we're going to pull that up. And that'll require the pipes again, just constant manipulation really of all this stuff. Okay, let's go in now and let's inset this, watching our bevel. Let's scale this in the axe. Looks like the sides are thicker here than underneath. And let's go ahead and inset this a little bit, but watching the bevel, trying to keep it rounded like this. And then I'm going to do something. I'm going to create like a plate and pull it out where I make my keys. So I'm going to do that now. I think I'm going to switch over to normal. Shift D, pull that out. P to break it out. Set the origin of geometry on that. Take this and I'm going to extrude back. Alt N, recalculate outside. I'm also going to take and break that off. So I got this. Let's see how well it places in. I want it very close to the surface. I might even go with that. However, this piece probably, I don't think it needs as much segments, as many segments. That makes more sense. 0.01. I'm probably okay with that. Let's try making those buttons. There's 4 buttons going across and 4 down. Can I do them as squares with a bevel? Let's try extruding that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that face. And you see it sort of rounds up. I'm going to select a piece, Control L. I'm just going to follow my arrows. I'm going to rotate around the Y, RY 180. And then I'm going to push it till it makes contact. And then I'm going to look from the front, and I'm just going to use the arrows to move this. And it'll stay nicely aligned with the surface. Let's just have a look at that. Okay. I want 4 of them, so let's have a look and see if I can get 4. So I'm in. I'm actually going to take this, Control L, and I'm going to P, and I'm going to break it out. It will keep the same bevel. It inherits the bevel. So you see the bevel there? Array in the X. I want 4. And now we'll space them out. They're a little bit round. And these also, in terms of the bevel, so see, I may want to go up, and I may want to change this 0.05. I think that'll give a better look. Okay. The spacing looks a little farther than on the other one, but let's see. Let's try 1.3. Try to keep it at nice round numbers. And I'm just going to go into edit mode so I get the arrows along the normals, and it's much easier to position these. And I'm going to copy them by eye, as I always say. Shift D. I want 4 rows. Shift D. And Shift D. And then I'll select a piece of all of these, Control L. And then I can move it all up. far so good, very simple. All right, so now there's not a lot left to do really. What we're going to do is I'm going to select, I'll go back to global. Actually, I'm going to Shift Alt and click that and get the whole piece of it. All of these edges around, including these ones. Okay, I'm going to keep my eye on the bevel, Control B, pull. I want quite a big one. And I'm going to release. Let's have a look at that. Make sure nothing's screwed up right here. I think it looks okay. Okay. I'm looking at these pipes. I'm not sure about that curvature. All right. Now we're going to do a little bit more. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this Shift D. I'm going to pull this over. And I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to edit mode. Rotate X 90. Rotate Z 90. Scale. I'm not sure if I should be reusing this piece or not. Period key, Control 3 to look from that side, and let's just hit G. These are roughly centered. These indentations here, but they're longer. So now I'm going to look in wireframe and in edit mode, vertex, and I want to preserve the curvature, so I'm just going to grab that top and pull it up. Then I'll grab the whole thing. Let's have a look at that. Looks a little wide. That's going to be a little harder to change. Well, we can still do it though. I just don't want anything to overlap. And I don't want to cut it. I think I'm probably going to just leave it like let's scale it globally like that a bit. I'm going to take this piece again and pull it up. All right, it's a little narrower. That's going to get inserted like that. Let's array this in the Y. Put X at 0. Let's try minus 1.7. 3 of these. See how far it comes out. Okay, so I'm just going to lower this. About 1.5. Alright, now let's take this, set origin to geometry, and cursor to selected. Bring a 3D cursor so it's right around this symmetrical thing, well, that included, for when we have to mirror this. Alright, so let's give this a try. It's possible that I will need to fill the end, but let's find out. Now, I can just do a Boolean with the Boolean modifier, or I can use a Bool tool. If you go to the preferences, it should just search for Bool. Okay, Bool tool. And that just allows a little bit more flexibility in doing Booleans. And so what you do is you take the tool that you want to use as the cutter, and I'm going to shade smooth on that. So you select that, and then you select the object you want to cut into, and then you go Shift Control B, and you get this menu that says Bool tool. I'm going to come down to brush Boolean difference. Now don't freak out yet. This is BT for Bool tool. I'm going to move it above the bevel. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to just adjust where I may want it. And the truth is that I think I do want to fill that end. I'm going to try that. So in edge selection, I'm going to select, if I can, that outer edge and F to make a face. And now I'm going to try pulling this back in and seeing if it makes a bit of a difference. And I think I need to make them a little deeper. So I'm going to scale this in the X. Push them in again. Now there's a few things that I can do here, and I'm going to be doing them very soon. I'm going to leave that there. They're not as deep, but I'm going to select this main panel here. And let me think about it. I'm going to keep that actually underneath. The BT is underneath the bevel. And I'm going to come over like I showed you before. I think I showed you. Weighted normal. And there's a little note here that says enable auto smooth. So I'm going to come down to here and under normals. I'm going to do that. Keeps my bevel. Now, I can hide that as well. It's the effect that I get at this point. I can bring this back and I can still mess around with this. Push it in. I can move it where I want. And I can edit this. And I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to pull this back and try pushing it in further and seeing if I like it. And I think I do. It's not perfect. I'm not sure I like the size of it and the position. So I'm just going to grab it and pull it down to around there. I'm going to hide it. So that's the effect that I'll get. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. And on this this thing, sorry, I'm going to come over and I'm going to mirror this. I'm going to hit H to hide. And I got them on both sides. And I'm not going to do any more with that. But what I am going to do is I am going to select this back face and these, and I'm going to delete those. Okay. And really, that's almost it. The last thing I would probably do is look at these pipes again and decide if I want to redo them. But I don't think I will. I think I will probably leave them. I could take these, Shift D, rotate X 90 minus. Let's look from the back. I'm just thinking, you know, I could have those on there if I wanted. Actually, I think I would rotate them the other way, wouldn't I? Let's do it this way. Rotate X 180, because you'd see it from that side. Okay. Let's look from the side, and actually let's get all of these and look from the side. And I don't really know that I need to line this up, but I'll come to about there. All right, and the other part would go into the wall, so we could actually fix that if we wanted. Let's put that under. You know, so that if you had a wall here, something like that. Let's you would see how that would go against the wall. Let's add the cavity shader now. I'm actually going to delete that. I'm going to select A to select everything, tab into edit mode for everything, Alt N, put cursor over here, Alt N, and recalculate outside, and it did change a little bit. And that is, let's go Shift C to get that out of there. And turn off overlays. Actually, I'm going to take it and Shift-D. There we go. So those are my little computer monitor, keyboard, and pipes of tiny furniture. Cool. I'm going to do some more in a bit. Thanks for watching.